Good morning, and welcome to Unity in the Olympics in Port Angeles, Washington. For those of you joining us today on Zoom, we ask that if you have not already done so, please turn off your microphone and your camera. For those of us here in the room, please take a moment to silence your cell phone. Thank you so much. And now, let the celebration begin.
Good morning. Is this on? Is this on? My microphone, do you hear me okay? I'm going to turn this up right here now. This is one of my favorite songs as we come around us for a while. Would you all stand up and join me as we sing We Come Together? We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together. We come together in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now see the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. We come together, in the name of, last time, we come together, in the name of love. Yes, good, 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 good. Hey guys at the sound desk, I just can't hear myself, so how can we get a little more volume here? And the piano, are you getting too much out there? Little tiny bits, we need more. I think when we turn the announcement down, we turn the overall speakers down, so, and we need a little bit of support here, don't we? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, a little bit more. I'm going to turn this here. Check it out. 1, 2. Ooh, is that too much now? We come together, right? We're going to go right back into it. Good morning. Good morning. I had to scrape ice off my windshield this morning. I haven't had to do that for a few years. Yeah, I know, poor baby. So, yeah. Ari, have we told you how to turn this thing on and off? Great. Well, so turn that on. Let's see if we can hear. There we go. Sound check. Folks, you've seen this face, and you've experienced this joy, this smile. This is Ari Ostley, right? Ari is here with her partner, Leia. And is it Kieran he's here? Yeah, yeah. So, and Ari is our celebration host today. So welcome, Ari.
Yeah. I'm excited to be the celebration host today and be a part of this celebration that we're all a part of today. So good morning. As he just said, I'm Ari Ostley, your celebration host today. On behalf of Unity in the Olympics here in Port Angeles, Washington, I welcome you to our Sunday service celebration. Our ministry and music coordinator, B.A. Huffman, is sharing the message and song today. And our audio-visual team is made up of Merlin Fisher, Bill Evans, and online Zoom, of course, listens from Tim West. Charlotte Coachman is serving as prayer chaplain today. Where is she?
Over here.
Wonderful, hello! And she will be available after the service to pray with you if you're seeking a prayer partner. We especially welcome those of you joining us online. No matter what our location is, we are all in the right place at the perfect time, shining our inner light to make the world a brighter place.
Do you know this song? We're all shining our light. You can stay seated, you can jump up, you can dance, you can do anything you want, but please sing along with me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This loving light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This loving light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This loving light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful singing this morning, and the people are just pouring in. The weather is not keeping us away, is it?
Awesome. So now we're going to go into the 5 unity principles. All right. So the 5 basic principles of unity are not commandments or a set of rules, but rather a distilling of teachings and tools that were demonstrated by Jesus, Buddha, and many other enlightened teachers of various wisdom traditions. We at Unity find these principles to be most helpful in raising our consciousness, deepening our spiritual practice, and recognizing our oneness with the divine. If it resonates with you to do so, please join with me in saying aloud these 5 principles. There is one divine source and creator of all. This source is the only enduring power and is present everywhere. We are spiritual beings with the very essence of divinity in us. Therefore, we are also inherently divine. Containing this divine essence, we are creators of our own life experiences through our way of thinking. Through positive prayer and meditation, we align our heart and mind with Source, manifesting wisdom, healing, abundance, and everything good. Through positive knowledge and recitation of these principles is not enough. It is through living and practicing them that we become our truth. And now let us bless the children in this place, here in our hearts and throughout the world. You are smart, you are kind, you are important. We see the divine light inside you, and we love everything about you, just the way you are. And now we welcome today's prayer chaplain, Charlotte Coachman, to offer her personal prayer and to lead us in collective prayer.
Morning. Lovely to see all of you. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to ask you just to take just a moment and kind of close your eyes. Take a deep breath right into your heart center, into that beautiful, energetic part of you. And then let it out slowly. Relax into your seat as we pray. We, as the awakening spirit of the Creator, are one with all beings. Whether we stand in the shadows or in the light, we are always held in the light of love and joy. Gratitude for all beings and circumstances keep us connected to the river of joy that flows between our humanness and our true being. As we pray for others, we hold them and ourselves just as we truly are in the never-ending spirit of the Creator. And now join us in the collective prayer, which will be up on the board here. Dear sweet Spirit, thank you for the song you stir in our hearts every day. Thank you for the guidance of each moment. When we stay in tune with our light, we glow with joy to all those around us. And we are reminded that they glow with you too. In this week, help us be awake to the divine order of all things. To help us needed, to love where love calls, to forgive everything. We thank you for enfolding, protecting, and loving us through any adventure we may experience. We trust and know that all is exactly in divine order, for God is the one and only power and presence. For this, we are forever grateful, walking as you love. Thank you always. Amen.
Thank you, Charlotte, and thank you to Tia, who is gone for a few weeks in Alabama, and she actually wrote that prayer as a personal prayer a few weeks, maybe a couple months ago, actually. And I was reviewing, and I said, this looks like a wonderful collective prayer that we can all say together. So thank you to Tia, and thank you, Charlotte, for leading us in that as well. The daily word for today, Sunday, November 20th, is grace. Grace blesses my life in every way. Merlin, I thought of you. Your mother's name is Grace, isn't it, right? Yes, she blesses your life in every way, right? Nice. Yeah. Grace blesses my life in every way. If I am feeling overwhelmed, if I'm feeling overwhelmed or find myself in the midst of conflict, I don't need to struggle. Grace, the ceaseless activity of divine love, is mine to claim. This infinite resource of spirit carries me through even the most challenging circumstances, and it is expressing in my life right now. I need not earn grace, it is never withheld. Just as water flows when I turn on the tap, saying yes to grace is all I have to do for divine life, love, wisdom, and strength to flow freely to every part of my life. Centered in grace, I am at peace. My thinking is clear, and I possess ample understanding, compassion, and insight. Drawing from this divine gift, I bring harmony and joy to my relationships, and I move forward with renewed confidence, energy, and efficiency. Grace. Grace blesses my life in every way. Will you say that with me? Grace blesses my life in every way. That's a good one. That's a good one. They're all good, right? What? I'm looking at the clock because I've got a lot to say today. And I'm like, do I throw a song in here? Or yeah, I throw a song in here. Okay. All right. Well, I think toward the end of this, well, you know this song because I've sung it for you before, so you can join along, but certainly at the end, I'll have you join in. But the song, I want you to think about it now, but also it's going to play into the talk later on. So I have access to the power. I have access to the power within me. I have access to the power within me. I have access to the power every minute, every hour. I have access to the power within me. Do you remember that song? Yeah, I wasn't pointing for me to only sing. I was pointing because I have it within me. But you have it within you too, right? I have access to the power within me. Again, I have access to the power within me. Every minute, hour. I have access to the power every minute, every hour. I have access to the power within me. Whenever troubles surround me and I just can't find my way, I close my eyes, I go inside, and from somewhere within me, I raise my voice and say, I have access to the power within me. I have access to the power within me. I have access to the power every minute, every hour. I have access to the power within me. I used to think I was separate and had to pray to someone above. But now I know inside is flowing the never-ending source of infinite love. I have access to the power within me. I have access to the power within me. I have access to the power every minute, every hour. I have access to the power within me. Repeat after me. I got the power. I got the power. I got the power. You got the power. Tell your neighbor, you got the power. You got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. I've got the power. Yeah. I've got the power within me. I have access to the power within me. It's an important message for me, and we're going to talk about why. Good morning. I'm going to even move this over here a little bit. So, as I've told you, I've been doing a lot of reading about from Eric Butterworth, right? So this book is in the back there on the little table underneath the mirror. There's the purple hardback version. All right, you can borrow this from the church. We have about 3 or 4 left over there. And there's also new paperback versions, right, that I have bought, and you can reimburse the church for $10, and you can own your own. All right, this is Eric Butterworth's Unity, A Quest for Truth. Eric Butterworth was a Unity minister, born in 1928, ordained in like 58, somewhere around that time period, longtime minister of New York City's Unity Church. And you've heard me say this before, but I like to bring it up again. And he actually served in Pittsburgh, and Judith, your husband, studied with him, right? He is a very well-known, renowned, revered Unity minister and author, like the real deal, right? And of course, Charles Fillmore, right? And Myrtle, like we're on Myrtle Street. Did you ever notice that? Yeah. I've always wanted to ask, by the way, did they name the street after they built the church? No, did you find the property because it was on Myrtle? It was just a coincidence, right? Divine coincidence. All right. So Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, and here we are on Myrtle Street. They started Unity. And so I'm doing a lot more and more reading, digging in, because as I've told you, I'm not a Unity minister, but I've been going to Unity churches for a long time. And I also go to CSL churches and New Thought, all kinds of those things. They all resonate with me. But you're sitting, I'm standing in a Unity church. And it's important that we know what the Unity principles are. So that's why, for one thing, we've been doing all 5 of the Unity principles lately, right? Not just one, but just so we have an idea, where are we coming from, right? And a lot of these go back and forth. I was looking into one of the churches that Ari also attends, and I was like, wow, look, the first 2 principles of their thing are the exact same 2 principles of Unity. So there's just so much crossover, right? In chapter 3 of Quest for Truth, and I really do recommend this, written in the 1960s and still very, very present today, still so good today, and progressive, actually. Who knew, right? Those 60s people, they were. Unity, chapter 3, Eric Butterworth, he writes, Unity is a door to self-discovery for those who are curious, who want to know more of the meaning of the world around us and within us. Unity is a pathway to understanding for those who just cannot accept final answers. and precast spirituality. Look at that. Right there, he's telling us that unity is a door opening. It's not something that is stuck. It's not something that is stagnant, right? This is why unity resonated with me and still does. Because it's everything. It's a unity. It's uniting all the different belief systems. It's not just one. It's not just those 5 principles. We talked in our board meeting recently, what is the future of the church, this church and the church? And we talked about unity plus. Oh, the eyes lit up. Isn't that exciting? It's not just unity, it's unity plus. It's all the things that we have brought in with us from the past, whether you were raised Catholic, Pentecostal, or Baptist, or whether you were raised atheist, you bring it all with you, right? It's part of your formations, and you bring it to this place, and you don't stop there. Charlotte, you and I have talked about that too, right? We've talked about, we can get stuck. We could just say, well, this is it. I know my 5 principles and I go to church every Sunday and that's it. That's all I need. Even Eric Butterworth is saying, no. It's for you if you just can't accept final answers. That's not Jeopardy. Is that your final? Wait, that's the wrong show, isn't it? It's not your final answer. Oh, who wants to be a millionaire? Is that your final answer? No, it's not the final answer. We are constantly, because God is infinite, right? God is ever expanding, and so should we. So should our understanding of God. How can we ever have I'm getting excited. Whoo, and it's only not even 11 o'clock, and I'm way off my script already. Our understanding of God has to be as infinite as God is. That means we're always, always growing. That's the exciting part for me. And that is how we come together as a group of people from all different backgrounds into this church that happens to be called Unity, right? But we all bring our ever expanding. Some of us are fine. We're like, I've done my work. I'm good. My life is great. And some of us are still looking to get deeper and deeper. And this is the place for you no matter what. I'm only on paragraph 2 and I have 20. Eric also writes, the purpose of the church is not to make you a convert to a particular creed and a member of a particular organization. That's important. That's important to me. The true purpose of the unity movement or the unity church is to help you, as Paul said in his letter to the Romans, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. That goes back a long way. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. My mind needs constant renewal. I get stuck in some old stories. When I was a young boy, my dad was very strict and had some serious anger management issues. And, because I don't like the word but, and he was infinitely loving to his children. Just anger management and loving. So those things I learned as an adult, they can coexist. At the time I thought, how can that be? Why are you so mean? They coexist, right? The one thing, as I grew to be a teenager, and I'm discovering myself, who I am, what I'm not, who I'm not, what I want to be, he had this to say to me. He said, you could spend the rest of your life trying to please me, and that's how long it might take you. Or you can spend the rest of your life pleasing yourself. You can be anything you want to be. Anything you want to be. The sky is the limit. I didn't know, I'll try not to get emotional, I didn't know until after he was gone what more depth there was to that. I figured out, I thought he meant career-wise, right? You can be anything. You don't have to be an athlete. He was very sports-minded, right? You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be a coal miner like he was. I could be a musician. I could go and work on Broadway. I could go sing for Hollywood movies. Check, check. But I also learned, or I'm still trying to learn, I can be anything I want to be. Does that mean I can be happy? I can be loved, lovable. I can be content. It's so much more than what I could be or do as a living, right? And I'm still learning that. There are still things that I can be. I learned then that the sky is not the limit. My belief system is my limit, right? We're not limited by the sky, we're limited by our beliefs. Charles Fillmore, who with his wife Myrtle were the founders of Unity in 1889, 1890s, he wrote that the greatest gift to humankind is the power of thought, because through it, we have direct access, connection to the mind of God. That's where Unity starts, with that kind of principle, that kind of teaching, that philosophy. Our greatest gift is not a man who was executed on a cross 2,000 and some years ago. That's not the greatest gift. The greatest gift is our power of thought to connect with the mind of God. That's what sets us apart from all other beings, right? It boils down to, you are what you think. You are what you think. What do I think? Do I think that I'm a victim of mean kids and bad parenting? Do I think that I'm an unlucky person? Do I think that others always seem to get it better than I do? What do you think? What are you thinking underneath all of this stuff? What runs through your mind? Is it, I'm old? Is it, I have one ailment after another, 6, 7, 8 medical conditions? I remember sitting on a bus years ago, and this guy just went on and on after one medical condition. That's all he wanted to talk about. That's what was in his mind, is everything that was wrong with him. Is it running through, what are you thinking? Is it running through your mind that you're unlovable? That you're unloved? That you're not worthy? I grew up in a little tiny town, a coal mining town in Western Pennsylvania. And I didn't even grow up in the town. I grew up like on a country road a mile away from the nearest town. That town had 1,000 people and a post office and an elementary school. But I'm on this country road of 12 houses, right? And then 5 more miles away was, the high school and the grocery stores, right? But I'm out there, and our little neighborhood was called Grafton. I think 100 years before that, it used to be actually a small town, but flood control and blah, blah, blah. So I'm from Grafton. That's the 12 houses, right? And the whole community of this area was not an economically lifted area, right? But even within that, there were subsects. We knew there was almost like a class system, right? Even like we were all like lower middle class to lower, right? And still within that, there seemed to be a class system. And I knew growing up, I was a Huffman. That means your dad was a coal miner and you're from Grafton, right? Now, that consciousness, I wasn't a Thompson from the Smith Plan in the nice part of town, or a Wilson with the pool in the backyard. I wasn't a Bonarigo at the Catholic Church. No, I was a Huffman from Grafton. As an adult, I go on this cruise. So my best friend, you've heard me talk about my best friend, Brian, right? We grew up, he's from Blairsville too, right? He is from further out in the country than I am, but he was a Cochrane, and his dad, was he was a land surveyor or something like that. It was different. But we went on a cruise together several months ago, right? We went over to Italy. And Brian picked out his cabin, I picked out my cabin, and we go to the travel agent, and there are specials to be had in this, and somehow Brian gets these specials, and he gets an upgrade to his cabin, but not me. I'm a Huffman from Grafton. No, I get what I paid for. Inside cabin, no specials, no upgrades, you know. We joked about it, but there's truth in that. I have another friend, we call it TIJ. There's truth in jest. You know, you joke about something, but you're like, yeah, I'm joking because it's a little true. But if I can make light of it, it makes it less painful, right? TIJ, truth in jest. So what was interesting is, you know, I'm 52. I've known Brian since I was 12. For 40 years plus, I'm still carrying the message that I'm a Huffman from Grafton, and that somehow means something bad, that I don't deserve, that I'm never going to be worthy as a Cochran or a Wilson or a Thompson or a Bonarigo. What is that? You know what it is? It's thought. It's my consciousness, isn't it? That's how powerful our thoughts are. Do you have any? Yeah, you don't have to say them, it's okay. I'll bare my soul, you can sit there safely, all right? It's all good. We'll talk back in the back, right? In the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15 says, "Choose this day whom you will serve." There's a Native American tale that talks about the good wolf and the bad wolf that lives inside each of us, right? Which one are you going to feed? Whom will you serve? Which wolf will you feed? Think about that each day, right? When I stand in my own power and confidence as a musician, when I know who I am and I feel confident, and then I'm a better musician in that moment. And there are times when I'm around some colleagues in New York or Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh, they're better than I am. And what happens is I screw up. And I'm not that good that day because I have conditioned my consciousness that I am not as good as someone else. I've let the power of thought, I've lost my confidence, right? The same thing can happen. I might put on a certain outfit and step in front of the mirror and be like, oh, damn, you look good. And there are times when I'll be like, you better put a vest over that because your belly's hanging over your belt. Lots of recognition I'm hearing, We have confidence based on our thoughts, don't we? It's given to us, we think, by our parents. And it is good when you have a supportive upbringing, when you have teachers or adults when you're a child, and you have people who believe in you. And it's not so great if you don't. But we're adults now, most of us, 99.9% of us here are adults now, right? Confidence isn't something that someone can give us anymore. Confidence is something we can only give ourselves. We can only give ourselves that confidence. We can only look in the mirror at ourselves and say, damn, you look good. It's said that one of the best methods for turning around our thoughts and thought training is prayer. Prayer. Prayer is a bit of a trigger word for me because I haven't understood it and I still don't think I understand it. I think I'll never understand it. I get there and then I'm like, what is it? I'm getting there. And here's why and how. I was raised in a very, very fundamentalist church, and prayer meant asking the bearded man up there for something. It meant requesting things, complimenting him and telling him how great he was. And if I were worthy, would you please give me this? That was the version I grew up with. And I grew into adulthood and said, that doesn't work for me. What is prayer? And I come into Unity and to Centers for Spiritual Living, and prayer is affirmation. Prayer is thought, and thought is prayer. Prayer is affirmation, and affirmation is prayer. It's not begging or asking. It's claiming and accepting. Eric Butterworth writes, contemporary prayer, today's prayer, is largely a modification of the prayer concepts of pre-Christian days, a plea to a Superman sort of God somewhere off in the skies. Yeah. It is usually a wordy and emotional plea to God to have mercy or to grant a request, along with a reminder that he is omnipotent. This is Eric Butterworth's writing in 1965. This is not Brent Allen Huffman writing this in 2022, right? This is someone, a leader in the unity movement, telling us what prayer is and what prayer isn't. And yet somehow here we are still walking into some of these unity churches, right? And still offering up the old kind of prayer. Get this book, folks. Get this book and see where unity started, and get clear what prayer is and what prayer isn't. It's, as I said, it's not begging or asking. It is claiming and accepting. It's not, I want, I wish, I hope. It's, I am. It's not help me, guide me, heal me, give me. It's, I am helped, I am healed, I am guided, I have all that I seek. That is prayer. That is affirmative prayer, and that is what we believe in. That is the very basis of the unity teachings. Prayer is concentration and manifesting all the good in our lives. It's more than a memorized series of words as a ritual or a custom. Prayer is an inner feeling and sincerity. Inner feeling and sincerity. Prayer is the practical application of our spirituality, right? Practical. And you can't have practical unless you practice, right? We have to practice this every single day. Practice this. Reading a book about golf does not make you a golfer. Watching HD TV about how to remodel a house does not make you a contractor. And watching Top Chef on TV doesn't make you a chef. In fact, you don't even get to taste the food. Reading about spirituality and reciting mindlessly things that are just put in front of you doesn't make you a more spiritual being. It doesn't lift you to a higher consciousness. We have to practice it. Now, going to those five principles, the last three of them are what we're talking about, right? The power of thought. We create our own experiences through our thinking, right? Number 4, help me out. Number 4, prayer and meditation, right? What is prayer? It's affirmative prayer. And number 5, you've got to live it. You've got to practice all of it. You can't just recite the first 4, right? So what does that mean to you on a daily basis? We must be constantly practicing our gratitude. We must eliminate negative thoughts. Like negative thoughts, they come into our mind before we even know it. They are so stealthy, right? They just slip right in there, and before you know it, you're like ripping on someone because their dress doesn't fit them well, or because they didn't show up to church, or because they do this or they do that, right? Or we're ripping on ourselves. Those negative thoughts creep in when we've got to root them out. When you're walking down the street and you've got like a pebble in your shoe, you take off your shoe and you take the pebble out, right? You're not going to just, my shoe's off. You're not going to just keep walking with that pebble, right? It's going to be painful and you're going to end up with a blister. Take the pebble out. But you have to know that the pebble is there. You have to be that Princess and the Pea. Do you remember that story? Or there was a Broadway musical made of it called Once Upon a Mattress, starring Carol Burnett, right? All those layers of mattresses, and she, because they wanted to prove that she was a princess, and there's a pea underneath it, right? You have to find the pea under your mattress, because the pea is blocking your peace. We can only be peaceful when we get rid of those negative thoughts. They're in us. I hear them in myself every day. I hear them in most of my friends every day, my family, and I hear them from congregants, from some of you. There's always something that's always going to come in and just make us less connected with the highest version of ourselves. I have that on my podium at the shows that I conduct. I have HVM, highest version of myself. Always remembering, how can I get to that place? How can I exude that? How can I be that? The highest version of myself. A wise friend once told me, even if you never, ever again close your eyes and pray and ask to an imaginary being, even if you never do that again, you can still live your life full of prayer. Because everything you say is a prayer. Everything you think is a prayer, so be careful. Be careful of what you say. Be careful of what you think. Be careful of what you do. Because it's all messaging. It all has a result, right? If I eat fries and pizza all my life, I'm creating a result, right? I'm creating a lifestyle, a body, a health situation. Everything we say, we do has a result, right? Everything we say, think, or do is a prayer. It is creative. What are you thinking? What are you doing? What are you saying? Not just at the best times, not when you're really just on it, but what about those other times? The minute something goes wrong in your life, that's the time to ask. It's easy to ask when things are going well. It's a lot harder when things aren't going so well to ask ourselves, how did I create this? What's my part in it? Where was my thinking that led to this situation? What was my doing or not doing, which is doing, right, that led to this situation? There's no blame game here, folks. Our actions are our prayers. Our thoughts, our words. It's up to us to choose the life that we want to live. And we do that by choosing and changing our thoughts. We choose the life we want by choosing and changing our actions. We choose the world that we want by choosing and changing our thoughts. Every thought is our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our words are prayers, and we are always praying. Our words are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of thankfulness, and know the answer is always there. And every word becomes a prayer. What are your thoughts right now? The deep thoughts, the ones that underlie. Root them out. Let them go. Cast them aside like that pebble. And replace them now with the thoughts of how you'd like your life to be. A life of abundance, of prosperity. A life of love, of feeling loved. A life of patience, acceptance of other people, of gratitude. Your thoughts are prayers, and you are always praying. Your thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a place of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Every thought becomes a prayer. Every word becomes a prayer. Every deed becomes a prayer. Every thought becomes your prayer. What are you thinking? What are you doing every day? What are you thinking? What are you saying every day? What am I thinking? What am I saying? It's a prayer. Everything is a prayer.
Was wonderful. I think that's my favorite sermon, or whatever you want to call it, your favorite talk that you've given so far. That was wonderful. Thank you. Girls, can we give another round of applause real quick? That was wonderful. All righty. All right. And now we move our love and gratitude forward by sharing our tithes and offerings. It is said that we give to that which feeds us. If your heart has been fed here today, Unity in the Olympics gratefully receives what comes through you. For those of you joining us online, we also accept love offerings on our website, www.unityintheolympics.org. Also, if you have a written prayer request, please hand it in. And it will be confidently held in the prayer box and prayed over for 30 days. Then sent to the Worldwide Unity Prayer Ministry to be held in collective prayer for 30 more days. And now held in our hands, and now held in our hands or our hearts, let us bless our gifts as we move them forward in oneness, saying, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, I give in love.
Beautiful. I love that. And we want to give gratitude and put our energy into this beautiful gift from each and every one today, knowing that it will fly through the air as energy as we send it out into the community and farther on, and then come back to us with even more energy and love. So we are so grateful for each and every person who donates today. And as we go forward, we will keep in our minds and our hearts these beautiful prayers that have been put into the prayer box. And we will hold them in our hearts and our minds and on our prayer list for 30 days. And then they'll be sent on to Silent Unity, beautiful Silent Unity with all the light prayer workers that are there. And they will be held for another 30 days in prayer and love and support. And we want to thank every single soul here in this room for such beautiful thoughts and such beauty of energy today. Thank you.
No, we're going to do some announcements first, actually. Yeah, and then we're going to do that. Yeah. Yep. They're at the end, yeah. It's easier to remember them after, right? Than it started an hour and like, what? What did he say at 10:30? Okay, so some announcements. I think I might have mine out of order. Oh, no, I don't. I've got them in order. Thank you, Bill. All right. It's Love Labor Sign Up Day. Love Labor's Sacred Service. So you've got the email this week, right? You've got the newsletter, and we are looking to build up our volunteer brigade, right? This is how this church is going to move forward, step into 2023, right? It's coming from you. This is your church. It's not mine. It's not Reverend Donna's. And we're heading out of here pretty soon, very soon for you. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is your church, and this is a time to step in, step up, and with your sacred service. And there is, as you might have seen in the little vestibule out there, that's sort of the area of the kitchen, I have got posters up there that remind you of some of the bigger coordinating positions that we will need to have moving forward. All right. And I invite you, I hope you looked at those in your newsletter this week to see if there's some place that you want to serve. And rest assured, if you're not stepping into a larger coordinator role, there are some smaller things that we're definitely going to want some help on too as well. Keep that in mind. I just didn't list them because I need the big ones first, all right? We want to see where our leadership is going to come from, and then those coordinators can reach out and you can say, yep, I will wash a dish towel this week. That's going to be needed too. So please take a look out there. There are just cards out there. Put your name, 4 things, right? Your name, your email address. We do want to have your email address, your telephone number, and how you think you might be interested in serving if it fits into those 8 categories that are out there. Already this week, I've had some really exciting responses, which I haven't talked about to anyone. I'm keeping them inside. It's very hard. But because I want everyone to just have do your thing, sign up, and we see where it all falls. But we are so, it's not my favorite word, but I'll use it this way because it works. We are so blessed. We are so blessed to have the energy that's in this building right now, and that's on Zoom right now. We have people who are supporting our church with their presence, with their money, with their activities, their help. Just their smiling presence, it's big, and their thoughts. So sign up, right? Tweet. Rockin' Robin. Okay, tomorrow's Monday. It's Monday midday meditation, and you don't need the slide to know that tomorrow's Monday. There you go. Yes, and that is at 12 noon on Zoom. Yes, so you will get your email tomorrow morning for the link for that. That's Reverend Donna and prayer chaplains Sandra Blanchard and Tim West every Monday, 12 noon. All right. Before we get to this one, that's okay. In the back, also on the floor, Bill did a great thing this week. We've got this room over here that's sort of become a storage room, and we're trying to kind of make it not be a storage room, right? But one of the things that's in there's a lot of old electronic equipment. There are some speakers, and so some of that stuff that wasn't really useful has been donated now to. I took it in my van, and we made a trip to Squim after I called them, and I said, is your donation center open? And they said, yes, till 5. And I got there at 4. They said, oh no, it closed. And I was like, oh, I'm not coming back the next day. So it's at the Port Angeles one instead. Anyway, but there's stuff out on the floor. If you want it, it's electronic equipment. If you want it, you take it, right? There's a mixing board out there. There are some speakers. Just take a look out there. There's five or so things out there. If you have a question about it, ask me or ask Bill, but you'll see right out behind that wall, some stuff on the floor. Grab it. All right. Next Sunday, yes. Next Sunday is the 27th. It is Reverend Donna's last day with us here. And we are having a chili cook-off and celebration for Reverend Donna. So we've got about 3 different types of chili signed up for so far.
White chili, turkey chili, chili con carne with beans, and nacho chili.
And a vegetarian. Okay, yeah. So there's if you want to contribute to that, it seems like we've got lots of chili. But if you have a favorite recipe, bring it on. Or cornbread, celery sticks, whatever it is. Cheese and sour cream and onions. It's all on the list. Sign up, if you will. And we get to say thank you, and happy trails to Reverend Donna. And we'll spend more time and energy with that next week. All right. So next week, I'm going to put one in because this came to me last night. And so here's a surprise. Next Saturday is the 26th, right? Next Saturday, the 26th. So the next day, the 27th, is the first Sunday of Advent. And the 26th is also 2 days after Thanksgiving. We need to deck the halls, folks. We need to deck the halls, right? And I think that we should do that together if you feel like it. So rather than one person decorating the church, because it's not going to be me. I love decorating, but and I usually, my family does it the day after Thanksgiving, what is now Black Friday. But we're going to have like Santa Saturday. No, we're going to have Deck the Halls Saturday. All right. So let's call it for 1 o'clock on Saturday. If you want to come by and help decorate the church, there are a bunch of bins in the shed back there. You know what? Maybe I'll tickle the ivories a little bit and play a couple Christmas carols or something like that. And we'll get the spirit going. So, I just thought of that last night. I was like, oh, we need to decorate. So that's what's going to happen. All right. Yes, Merlin. Decking the halls with 52. Wah, wah, wah. All right. Yes. Well played. So we will be doing that on Saturday at 1 o'clock. I don't care if there are 2 people here or 22 or more. We're just going to have some merriment. All right. So bring on an elf costume, sing a tune, what have you. We'll just have a good afternoon. We'll put on some coffee. It's just an informal gathering. It's a way for us to have another day of fellowship. Right. All right. So that's Saturday, 1 o'clock. And I'll put that in the newsletter on Wednesday. So you'll get reminded of it on the Wednesday newsletter. All right, there we go. And today, of course, we've got soup as usual. Soup today was made by Melinda. She's not feeling well today, so she didn't arrive today, but she sent the soup. She had Star hop by and pick it up. And, hi, Melinda. Thank you for the soup. Everyone say hi. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Melinda. There we go. Yeah, so that's fantastic. So we'll be having, it's butternut squash, I think. Is that right? Something like that. Okay. If you are interested in bringing the soup in the future, please see Star. Right now, she's the person who sort of coordinates that. But you may end up being the hospitality coordinator if you sign up. So there's that. Or do we have any other announcements to share today? Any other thoughts? Announcements? Thoughts or prayers? Okay, now we can join in our prayer circle. So won't you gather together, join hands. If you'd like, gather around these pews with your friends, your loved ones here. We gather together to share gratitude and blessings we've received and to ask for shared positive affirmations from our spiritual community. Shared positive affirmations from our spiritual community. Or anything in our hearts that needs to be lifted up. Good, there we go. So as we gather together and joining our hands on our hearts, let's just all take a collective breath together and release when you need to. Join in the love. Join in the community. That's what's so wonderful about this particular moment in our service. Take a look around at these beautiful people. This is our family. This is our church family, our spiritual community. These are the people who support us on our journeys. These are the people who celebrate with us on our joys. And these are the people who lift us up when we need that little nudge. Makes me happy to look at all of you. If you have a blessing to share, let's raise that now.
I'm concerned about Marguerite. I'd like to bless her wherever she is.
Thank you, and we will. Marguerite Snell will be 102 this week, so we lift her up in our prayers. We bless her for her long-time service to this congregation. Any other blessings we choose to lift up as a thankfulness, a blessing of gratitude? Mm. Mm. Mm.
I would send blessings to Tia and to her family in Alabama.
Mm.
Alabama. And to the work that they're doing in building and mending a lot of their family relationships and loving and supporting them. They all
I'd like to share a blessing of gratitude, a gratitude for a blessing, I should say, gratitude for the blessing of the medical care and the care from the community that Judith received this week after her fall, and that she's standing here with us today. And also a wonderful note of gratitude, of thanks for Jerry, her companion, who was there to be with her and help her during and after that fall. So we're so grateful for both of you. Yes. And do you have any prayer requests that need to be lifted up? Something that's in your heart that needs to be lifted up and held by all of us in a way of affirmation that the perfect solution is already there.
I'd like to acknowledge the outpicturing of spirit that's occurring in this room. That what occurred here today, what is occurring here today, is something that we have each individually, collectively created. And VA got to be our spokesperson, and yet it was within each one of us that message poured forth. That we are literally creating a new heaven and a new earth. These times, they truly are changing. We are part of that change. We are God unfolding.
I'd like to raise up the families and friends of the victims of last night's shooting in Colorado Springs at the Gay and Lesbian Club there that took so many lives. Just lift these people up to a place of understanding, no matter how long that may take, to a place of peace, to a place of forgiveness. Hmm.
Like a prayer for the 9th District Court to come to their senses.
So now with these requests and these blessings on our minds, let us say together the prayer of protection. We say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us, and the health of God flows through us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Have a wonderful day, spreading love all around. Have a wonderful day, spreading love all around. Have a wonderful day, just a singing this song. And why stop there? Sing it all week long. Have a wonderful day, spreading love all around. Now spread your hugs. Have a wonderful day, spreading hugs all around. Have a wonderful day, spreading hugs all around. Have a wonderful day, just a singing this song. And why stop there? Sing it all week long. Have a wonderful day, spreading hugs all around. Have a wonderful day, spreading love all around. Have a wonderful day, spreading love all around.